I don't know what kind of week you've had or the weight you're carrying right now, but if you've been feeling lost, like you've been giving to everyone but yourself, this moment is for you. You are not here by accident. There's something I want to talk to you about, something that helped me shift how I live, how I think, and how I show up for my own life. And I think it might speak to where you are right now. It's a concept I learned from Dr. Shad Helmstetter in his book, Choices. He talks about how many of us have never really asked or answered these crucial questions. Who am I? What do I want? Yet every day, week, month, and year, we make choices, tens of thousands of them, that greatly influence our chances for failure or success. Shad helped us determine the critical choices, big and small, that govern us and show us how we make them. How can we avoid making negative choices? What should we do when we feel boxed in, reacting to the world instead of responding to it by choice? Now that might all sound clinical, but stay with me. This isn't about perfection, it's about freedom. You may know of someone who doesn't just go through life on autopilot. They choose how they live. They don't wait for peace. They make peace. They don't let emotions run the show. They pause, breathe, and respond from a deeper place. That kind of person doesn't need permission to rest. They don't wait for applause to feel worthy. They've made a decision. I will live intentionally. I will not be ruled by fear, by people's opinions, or by the past. And friend, you can make that decision too. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Do you hear that? There's a pattern in this world. The worldview of success advocates that we work hard at the potential expense of relationships using any means needed to fulfill our goals. Over time, leaving us feeling burnout, blame, shame, overgiving, and never feeling enough. And God is calling you out of that. He's saying, you don't have to live that way anymore. Because of the finished work that I have done, be transformed. Let me say something hard but loving. We get so used to surviving that we forget how to choose. We forget that we can say no, we forget that we can change, we forget that we matter too. Let me tell you, choosing yourself is not selfish, it's sacred. You are not here to be everything to everyone while losing yourself in the process. You are here to live as God created you to be, whole, seen, and empowered. Jane Hardy in Making Space says, "When you clear the clutter of expectation and obligation, you find the sacred hush where God's voice is clearest." What's cluttering your peace today? What do you need to release so you can hear God's voice again? Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's people-pleasing. Maybe it's just noise. Noise that tells you you're not enough unless you're constantly doing. But here's the truth. God speaks in stillness, and He is still calling you back to you. Sometimes healing begins not with doing more, but with surrendering what you were never meant to carry. So I ask you gently, what are you carrying that God never asked you to hold? It's okay to lay it down. It's okay to rest. It's okay to start again. So what does becoming a person who makes everyday choices with confidence look like? Well, it's not a big announcement or some dramatic moment. It's this waking up and saying, today, I choose peace. Choosing to speak kindly to yourself with confidence and clarity even when you feel overwhelmed. Refusing to let one bad moment define the rest of your day. and giving yourself the grace you've been giving to everyone else. It's saying, I don't have to do it all, I just have to take the next right step. Even if that step is small, even if all you do today is breathe, cry, pray, and keep going, that counts. That's choosing. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again." That means you don't have to repeat the old cycles. You are free to build a new pattern, one where you are present, one where you are whole, one where you are deeply loved and know it. So here's my loving challenge to you. What's one choice you can make today that reflects the life you want? Not the life you're just surviving through? Maybe it's saying no without guilt. Maybe it's drinking that water or taking a walk. It could be letting yourself cry or resting without shame, or finally asking for help. Listen, can we take a moment together? I don't know what your day's been like. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you've been giving and giving, and you're not even sure what's left for you. If that's where you are, I want you to hear this. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible, and you are absolutely not stuck. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about what it means to truly live on purpose. Not just surviving, not just reacting, but really choosing our lives. Choosing your thoughts, choosing your peace, choosing healing, choosing you with God's help. Because the truth is, a lot of us have been living in survival mode for so long, letting our past, our pain, or even other people decide how we feel and who we become. I'm reminded of the story The Two Ladders. There were once two brothers, Jay and Malik, who lived in a small village where success was measured by how high you could climb a ladder outside your house. Every family had one. Some ladders were tall and shiny, others short and worn. Every morning, the villagers would step outside and climb as high as they could. People would cheer, compare heights, and whisper about who was climbing faster. Jay was obsessed with Malik's ladder. It looked stronger, and somehow, Malik always seemed to climb just a little higher. Jay would stare across the yard, gritting his teeth, climbing faster not to improve himself, but to beat Malik. But one day, Jay slipped. He fell hard. Not because he was weak, but because he wasn't focused. He wasn't paying attention to his own ladder. He was too busy looking sideways. That night, their grandfather sat them down. "You've got it backwards," he told Jay. "Your ladder isn't about getting above Malik. It's about getting above where you were yesterday. That's the only race that matters." The next day, Jay tried something different. Instead of rushing, he inspected his ladder, fixed a loose rung, strengthened the base, took his time climbing, not to be seen, not to compete, but to improve. Over time, something shifted. Jay stopped worrying about Malik, and ironically, he started climbing higher than he ever had before. Not to rise above someone else, but to rise beyond who he used to be. The point is, the story is about shifting your mindset. Instead of wasting energy comparing yourself to others, which honestly just distracts and distorts your progress, focus that energy inward. Improve your own process, your own habits, your own mindset. Then you'll grow, not out of competition, but out of purpose. Just as we have the freedom of choice to decide how we feel about anything that comes our way, we also have the freedom of choice to decide what we will do, what step we will take or move we will make, in any situation, at any time. Now, having freedom of choice doesn't mean we don't have responsibilities that need to be met. Of course we do. We've got jobs, families, homes, social activities, personal relationships, and just the daily demands of living, all of which, to some extent, seem to dictate many of our choices for us. But still, it's true that what we decide to do with each instance is up to us. If you were to examine the lives of those individuals who are most in control of their lives and compare their choices of action with the lives of people who aren't really achieving success or self-fulfillment, you'll always find something interesting. Those who achieve the best in life exercise more control over the choices of action in every detail of their lives. And that's because those who achieve take more personal responsibility for their own choices. Any of us could do the same. Taking personal responsibility is a habit. Learning to make choices about our actions is a habit. It's a skill we can learn and develop. And if we want to get better at it, we absolutely can. Here are 4 questions that'll help you take control of each of the choices you make, the ones that really shape your actions. Question number 1, what am I doing about this? Question number 2, what would I like to do about this? Question number 3, what do I choose to do about this? And number 4, what am I going to do about this now? Asking yourself these 4 questions each time the opportunity comes up can actually be a fun and eye-opening exercise. Learning to ask these questions naturally, almost automatically, could be the difference between just thinking about what you want to do and actually doing it. Taking just a few moments to ask yourself these 4 questions, even for just a few days or weeks, will very clearly show you just how important your role is in making the choices that shape your life. And let's not stop there, because I believe that God has something more for you than that. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That means you don't have to keep living the same story over and over again. You don't have to keep reacting the same way. And you definitely don't have to keep losing yourself while taking care of everyone else. You can become someone new, someone rooted in peace, grounded in grace, and walking with purpose. And no, it's not selfish to choose yourself. It's sacred. Because when you make space for the person God created you to be, when you slow down, tune out the noise, and let Him speak, you begin to feel that quiet shift inside, that holy hush. That's where healing begins. So let me ask you this. What's cluttering up your peace? What can you lay down today, just for a little while, so you can breathe again and hear God more clearly? Sometimes healing starts not with doing more, but with surrendering what you were never meant to carry in the first place. And maybe, just maybe, you've been carrying too much. Living with intention doesn't mean you become perfect overnight. It just means you wake up and choose differently. You choose to be present, to speak kindly to yourself, to listen to God's voice above the noise, and to stop reacting and start responding from a place of peace. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again." That means you don't have to carry that old story, that old weight, that old way of living into your future. You get to choose, right now, to live differently. So let me gently ask you again. What's one small choice you can make today that honors the life God has for you? Maybe it's saying no without guilt. Maybe it's stepping away for 10 minutes of quiet. Maybe it's finally believing, really believing, that you matter too. Write it down. Say it out loud. Let this breath be your beginning. because today you're not just choosing survival. You're choosing to rethink, restore, rise. Thank you for joining us here at Incredible You. We ask you to like, subscribe, and share, because if this message brought you encouragement or even just a breath of fresh air, there's a good chance someone out there needs to hear it too, and you might be the reason they find it. See you in the next video.